Hey guys, I got a stock I want to show you. They reached out to me and asked me if I'd bring it to you, and I looked at the chart and I said I would. I started looking at these kind of stocks about 2 or 3 years ago with my buddy Toby. You might have met him in Dallas, Texas at our meetup, and we watched that baby grow and grow and grow, and I sold my shares, and I wish I wouldn't have. But we might have another chance. Check out this chart. That's how I like to find them. Now, I don't own any of this stock yet, and I'm not a financial advisor, so take this with a grain of salt. But do your own investigation. I'm just going to bring it to you and see what you think, because it seems to be really helping people. The first thing I thought of when I thought about mushrooms and psychedelics, I thought that's a great way to take a trip and never leave the farm. But that's not what it's about. It's really helping people, especially people with brain trauma.
Not afraid to drop the gloves, as Darren McCarty was talking about before the game. And right here,
Carcillo was a hockey player. He had 7 concussions, and he had a condition called post-concussion syndrome. Sounds awful. His symptoms included light sensitivity, slurred speech, insomnia, headaches, head pressure, anxiety, depression, and ultimately suicidal thoughts. Unfortunately, the NHL did not properly address his brain trauma, so Carcillo had to be his own advocate. A lot like me and my wife did with her lupus. We went through Big Pharma and all the doctors around, and we just kind of had to do our own thing with diet and whole foods. For a long time, opportunity after another. In fact, he spent years and hundreds of thousands of dollars trying different clinics. It sounds so familiar. You try this, come back in 2 weeks. Try this, and they get you coming back and forth, and they're peddling drugs that they're paid to peddle, and it's really disgusting, actually. But then Carcillo gave non-traditional medicine a chance. Mushrooms containing psilocybin in combination with evidence-based therapies and other plant medicines, fungi, and adaptogens. 6 months into his journey, he received news that his brain scans had no abnormalities, and his blood work had normalized. He also noticed improvements in his face, the way he was speaking and acting, more patience, and a better ability to connect with his 3 young children. That's pretty awesome. Daniel is the largest personal shareholder of the company with a massive 22%. He has lots of skin in the game. It's a lot like these miners when the people that bring the company forward own a bunch of it. It means they believe in it, and they're, it helped him, so why wouldn't he? They've started 2 clinics that are cash flowing right now, and they're starting a 3rd one. So it's on the way. So this isn't really that speculative. I've bought some other stuff some gold miners for sure that were way worse off than that. The multi-bagger future opportunity. I like the way that sounds. Wesana's primary product is SNA 013. It targets symptom alleviation by improving the body's own neuroplasticity while reducing inflammation. Mike Tyson is a monster shareholder, and Joe Rogan has already mentioned Wesana. Now, that's the ticker, and that's what it's trading for right now, 58 cents. Looks pretty promising, but just listen to what David has to say about his journey and see what you think about it. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you like this kind of information and little tidbits here and there of things that could possibly make us money. Thanks for watching. Here's David.
The fact that we have a partnership with the World Boxing Council, that we're working with Mike, we're working with athletes, we're working with MAPS. I can't really pinpoint one. I'm just enjoying the journey.
And I was forced into early retirement in 2015 after my 7th diagnosed concussion. I watched my good friend Steve Monador struggle a lot after he was cleared for 19 concussions in the NHL. Again, the injustice, I'm a critical witness in his case against the NHL for the information that they knowingly withheld from us about the risks of repetitive head trauma, still holding their feet to the fire. And, lucky enough, with all this trauma that I sustained, the last 8 years has been dedicated to this brain health journey, and just reading as many PubMed papers as I could, researching, going to concussion clinics, listening to doctors, and then eventually, trying everything, almost going bankrupt, almost getting divorced, became extremely suicidal. I was dealing with symptoms like light sensitivity, slurred speech, headache, head pressure, impulse control issues, insomnia, anxiety, depression, the classic, constellation of symptoms. And then, it was 2.5 years ago now that luckily a former teammate reached out, told me about psilocybin. I took an invitation to a farm in a decriminalized city. I got administered 5.6 grams, and my life's been different ever since. I've been able to really reconcile with a lot of things in my past, recover my brain health, to be able to, found a company, put championship people around me like drug developers and clinical operators, and founded Wesana a little over 9 months ago. And happy to report that we're just scratching the surface with the mission. Haven't really said much in the last year. It's just really putting the foundation in place, and then now it's kind of the coming out party where happy to report we have a pre-IND meeting with the FDA to look at major depressive disorder associated with traumatic brain injury. We have 2 clinics that we're operating in Chicago that are treating symptomology. We're going to open up a 3rd and a 4th this year. Just really grateful for everything that happened to me in the past, because it's led to this point.
Your passion just comes through. I was there listening, with your panel up there with Mike Tyson, and it was just, you spoke so well. How have you found the reception in terms of Wesana and the work that you guys are doing with TBIs?
Good. People are, I think that, we have to do a better job of communicating how drugs get developed. So we've put a marketing strategy together where I'm going to educate people on things like Tylenol and things like pharmaceuticals and the path to getting approvals and what that means for our space. But I mean, it's, the panel went well. Like Mike was in good spirits, and I was in good spirits, and it's just nice. It's really nice to be around people again,
I know.
So
a little overwhelming, but
yeah, that's exciting. And I just think that this space has so much to offer. I think that with how much this means to me, this journey, I think that hopefully people hear that, and then with it being so new, and really there's no pathway forward yet, right? Until MAPS gets approval. Until that happens, it's really just a lot of problem solving, and that's the exciting part. It's like we get to figure this out.
And we do it all together.
Exactly.
Speaking of MAPS, I thought it was a cool moment when you were up there speaking. You gave them some recognition, saying that we're all here because of the work that they've done.
The only reason we're here.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is the collaboration? I mean, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to Wesana to be able to collaborate with MAPS?
Well, I mean, from a moral compass, ethical standpoint, it's everything. That's who we are as a company. We want to put a seal on the way that this medicine gets delivered, with a person focus, right? With insurance remuneration, like with supporting people through Medicaid, Medicare. Like that's how you build something that's real. And that's something that big healthcare will be interested in. Why, like I just can't envision doing it with anybody else. Like me and Rick were laughing over here because it was almost 3 years ago to the day that I went to a soap event at a mansion in Pittsburgh, 30 minutes outside of it in the middle of January, and that's where I met him. And I just started this journey. I was like 4 months in, and I told him my story, and he's like, he's the one who gave me the confidence that I could do this, and so then to come full circle with that partnership, with the opportunity that we have to build community in our clinics, through our clinics, with MAPS, who's proven that they can do it. It's, and then have a new indication with them, treating TBI much faster than our psilocybin program. It's everything. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's going to accelerate everything and move things forward
For sure.
very effectively. I want to talk also about the partnership with Mike Tyson. I mean, you guys have a great rapport. I can tell, natural rapport.
Yeah.
But what is the partnership with him? You know, and him coming on board here with Wesana. What has that meant to Wesana, being able to sort of get the word out for the company?
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about something that's as highly stigmatized as psychedelic medicine and Schedule I compounds, you better have a damn good plan for how you're going to communicate that to the public. How do you break through stigma? The only way that I know how to do that is either through musicians or through athletes. And that's how you shift the ideas of pop culture. And if you have two guys that you've seen fight that were totally different people before we found this medicine and now are completely changed, it's a good example. Like, I think about all of the suicide that we have with men our age, right? Like, and think about that community that we can impact that. Like, if these guys are talking about it, maybe I can talk about it. You know? So Mike's been instrumental in, and he has the most passionate following that I've ever seen. So for the whole industry, it's really important.
Yeah, no, it really is. And when we talk about, you know, helping to remove that stigma that's tied, you know, to psychedelics, I've noticed one thing, and I got to ask, is it strategic? You describe psychedelics as medicine, which I think is great because that's ultimately what it is. But I mean, is that something you're consciously doing, describing it as medicine so that we're helping to remove that stigma that's tied to psychedelics?
I take my medicine every morning.
Absolutely.
I'm on my medicine right now.
I love it.
It's this psilocybin, magic mushroom specifically, I tried to communicate that today on my panel, has an inherent intelligence to it. It is called a technology by Native Americans because that's exactly what it is.